Raven's Hollow is a town filled with whispers, whispers of things unseen, of shadows that move in the night, of the bride in the black dress, a woman whose presence is said to bring death. Every year, on November 13th, she appears along the Raven's Hollow Church Road, her long black veil trailing behind her, her delicate white hands reaching for something, or someone. Those who have seen her say she doesn't speak. She only stares, and those unfortunate enough to look into her face never return. For over a century, her legend has haunted Raven's Hollow, but few know the true story, the tragedy, the betrayal, the curse that binds her to this world. This is her story. It all began in 1886 in the grand halls of Blackmore Manor, the ancestral home of the Hastings family. Eleanor Hastings was young, beautiful, and in love, but not with the man she was promised to. Her heart belonged to James Wren, a stable boy who worked on the estate. Their love was forbidden, a scandal waiting to happen in a world where status and wealth mattered more than happiness. But Victor Carmichael, the man Eleanor was set to marry, was no ordinary suitor. He was ruthless, controlling, and dangerous, a man who always got what he wanted. And what he wanted was Eleanor. She begged her father to cancel the marriage, to let her be with James. But her pleas were ignored, so Eleanor and James made a desperate decision. On the night before her wedding, they would run away together. They never got the chance. The next morning, James's body was found swinging from an oak tree in the manor's courtyard, his neck twisted at an unnatural angle, his hands mutilated as if he had fought for his life. They told Eleanor it was suicide, but when she saw his face, his eyes wide with terror, his fingernails broken and bloodied, she knew. Victor had him killed. November 13th arrived, the day of the wedding. Eleanor was forced into her gown, her body trembling, her eyes lifeless. The church was filled with guests, candles, and flowers, but Eleanor felt nothing but cold emptiness. As she walked down the aisle, she could still hear James's screams echoing in her head. The priest asked her to say her vows. Eleanor remained silent. Her mother whispered in her ear, "Say the words, Eleanor." Her father squeezed her hand. "Do it for the family." Victor's cold smile sent shivers down her spine. She turned to him and whispered, "You will never have me." Before anyone could react, Eleanor pulled a dagger from her bouquet and drove it into her heart. A single gasp escaped her lips. Blood spilled onto her pristine gown. The church erupted into chaos. Victor stumbled back, his face white with shock. Eleanor collapsed, her last words, a whisper, almost a laugh. "Now you'll never be rid of me." The town buried Eleanor in her wedding dress, her fingers still curled around the dagger that took her life. Blackmore Manor was sealed shut. The Hastings family left town, never to return. But Eleanor, she never left. 1 year later, on the anniversary of her death, Raven's Hollow church bells tolled at midnight, though no one had touched them. A dark figure was seen walking the church grounds, her dress now blackened with age and decay. Some claimed to hear her soft, sorrowful weeping. Others heard a voice whispering through the trees, "You will never have me." At first, the townspeople thought it was just a legend, a ghost story, until the deaths began. For decades, people who mocked Eleanor's story began to vanish. Some were found days later, dressed in wedding attire, their faces twisted in horror. Others were never found at all. Witnesses reported seeing a woman in a tattered black dress standing along Raven's Hollow Church Road at night. She would stare, she would wait, and if you were unlucky enough to stop, she would step into your car. Her veil would slowly lift, and you would see her face. What happens next, no one knows, because those who have seen her never live to tell the tale. In 1978, a renowned paranormal investigator named Richard Dawson came to Raven's Hollow. He had heard the stories, but he did not believe in ghosts. On the anniversary of Eleanor's death, he locked himself inside Blackmore Manor, determined to disprove the legend. At midnight, his equipment malfunctioned. His radio crackled. His breath turned to fog. Then, he heard the footsteps, soft, slow, dragging. A woman's voice whispered from the shadows, "You will never leave me." Richard turned, and there she was. Her black dress fluttered without wind. Her veil lifted slowly. Richard tried to scream, the last thing the cameras recorded, his body being dragged into the darkness. He was found the next morning. His hair had turned white, his face frozen in terror. He never spoke again. Even today, Eleanor's spirit still roams. Some claim she waits for a groom who will never come. Others believe she seeks revenge on all men, taking them one by one. And some say she isn't looking for a groom anymore. She's looking for a bride, a new soul to take her place. So the next time you find yourself driving alone at night, if you see a woman standing in the dark, her dress flowing like smoke, her eyes fixed on you, don't stop, and whatever you do, don't let her in.